started in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. And there's always one.
There's always a, yeah.
It's usually Barrett.
I wish Buka was here.
But
I would have liked to meet him.
No Buko. Would have been great to have Buko.
No, I don't think he's gone to any of the events recently. I feel like I've been able to meet like almost all of the veterans. But aside from him, pretty much.
Yeah, it's been, I think he was here a couple of years ago. But
oh, okay.
Who we have for you right now, Kirby, top left, Sharky, top right, Mari, bottom left, and Scuti, bottom right. Blue Scuti, you know, of course, as the boy who broke Tetris, made worldwide headlines earlier this year.
Interesting situation for Mari.
Already.
Oh,
like
that's not tuckable. And he realizes that he knows, but he can also get out of this. That is going to be the big help. That is going to be really bad help. This is precarious. Not impossible by any means. Is a little bit more impossible now. But yeah, that's gonna steal it. And we have an early top out from Mari Scuti. Almost perfect, 95% Tetris rates.
I didn't even get to introduce Scuti, so we're talking about Scuti's major accomplishment. Mari already topping out.
But we'll have plenty of time. The thing with DAS is that it takes a while to calibrate.
Yes.
And if you don't do it right, just the slightest thing can set it off. But once people get into the zone, they really go far. And I believe that we're going to see that with Mari. All right, looking at the top, we got some pretty good scores from both sides. You're going to want to, of course, see the storied 60% Tetris rates. Both players far surpassing that. And it looks like it's Kirby with just a smidgen of a lead, just one double, and she gains it. But with that triple, she also has a very slight advantage. Both players having scored the same number of Tetrises, both players with a clean stack, but only Kirby will be able to use that bar. And that was because her stack was more uniform, her stack was more developed. This is one of the things that you want to be looking at with DAS. A lot of your points have to be coming from getting as few burns as possible.
This is your first time watching us. Some of the things to look at on the screen, just in terms of our display, the Tetris rate, as you mentioned, is that TRT with the percent there. That gives you the number of, or the percentage of lines that the player has scored that were the result of a Tetris. You also see their the scorers and their differential in scores flashing through in the green and red numbers. So that is the difference in their scores. And then it flashes through, rotates through, and shows you that in terms of how much of a Tetris does that result.
And as you just saw, sometimes the Tetris rate disappears when there is an absence of a particular piece. The long
bar.
The long one.
It's an important one.
Yeah. And because these pieces are so important for getting really high scores, people will wait and wait and wait for them. And as they do, the boards may climb higher and higher. But with this game, there is no theoretical limit to how long you can wait. And that is part of its fundamental challenge.
Yeah, in other Tetris games, they've sort of almost, newer Tetris games in this one, they sort of patch that out by fixing the RNGs so you're guaranteed by getting a certain number of long bars every so often.
And I do want to emphasize that this leads to like some really spectacular stuff. This is what makes T-spin setups possible, and that is not easy by any means.
Yes.
But our game is also not easy, and we can see that on the top. This is a high board for Kirby. And with the bar, she will be able to get out of this, but the bar might not come.
Yeah,
and we are waiting. This is a 14, 15, 16, and 18-piece drought. That is, on any given moment, that's not likely to happen. And for Kirby, it just happened at the wrong time. Sharky was able to weather that with the skill and grace that he is known for. He's our first seed.
Yes, our first seed taking the first game in the first match of the first round. So a lot of ones there.
And looking towards the second game that has already started on the bottom, this is pretty even. Mari down, a bit behind the Tetris. You'll see that he's stacking up. There's a bit of a messy parts on the bottom of his board, but he doesn't care. It's not enough to really cause any concern for him. And he'll continue to, like that, build on top of it. If there is an especially nice moment, then he will choose to just go for the burn, just get clean. And that's going to really matter when we get to level 19. We haven't seen that so far, but we certainly will.
All right, another dirty Tetris for Mari, building on top of that one row of garbage.
But let's not forget that cleaner boards are maybe slightly better in the long run. Scuti's demonstrating this. 272,000, 2 Tetris lead, just about 70% Tetris rates.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, Fractal, Scuti was the first player earlier this year, made national headlines, actually late last year, made headlines this year as being the first player to break Tetris.
Oh, he was? I had no idea.
Did you know that?
No!
You didn't
That's
know
crazy.
That.
Congratulations.
Well, Fractal may have known that, but a lot in our crowd may have not known that, right? But yeah, Scuti being the first player ever to get to the level in Tetris, level 100, and actually he got to 157, where the game was no longer really able to keep up with counting his score and lines, and so therefore it creates a situation where the game just breaks and freezes.
Yeah.
And this is not the freeze that you get when you're at home playing your NES and
you
just kind of
smash it on accident.
Smash it on. No, this is something that is unique to Tetris and is a result of really, literally breaking the game.
Yeah, you have to survive for a really long time.
And of course, there have been other players who have since crashed the game. Do you know any of those players?
I have no clue.
Yeah, Fractal was one of those players.
Yeah, sorry.
The game crash among, what are we up to now? 10?
8, I think 8, but it'll be 10 soon enough.
That's right.
But we won't be seeing any of those here. We have a different kind of survival that we are rewarding, and it is the survival of limited movesets against very fast falling speeds. Up at the top, I saw that Kirby started off 4 Tetrises in a row, but has since had to pay that efficiency back to the game with these burns, and is now below the 60% threshold that every player looks out for. In some sense, it's not like they're actually like computing like, oh, I have scored 5 Tetrises and like 23 lines.
Yeah.
I divide 5 by 23 and get a number.
Yeah, that Tetris rate is something that we have here on our display just as something to show to the viewer. They don't have access to that. They don't have access to the score differential or anything like that. In fact, you'll see players looking over to each other's screens to kind of see where they are relative to the other player and listening for commentator clues to give them an idea.
So for example, if I was to say that Mari has 700,000 points right now,
that would be...
Scuti would not care because he knows that's impossible, but...
But no, but for real though, Mari 416 and Scuti 451, Sharky 205, Kirby 189.
You're all about to be treated to the level 19 speed. Scuti will make it with 500 transition. You want 500 in the first half of the game, as we call it, the pre-transition, and you want 500 in the second half. That is the formula for what is known as the max out, 1 million points. All right. One more Tetris from Mari ought to do it. He could also choose to burn to it if he feels so inclined. That choice will not be made. He takes the Tetris, and yeah, this is, what is it like, if it's like a 48.6 miles per hour for level 18, it's now 72.9 miles per hour for level 19. Is that your analogy?
That is to say that the speed has increased now by 50%, so it's as if you were going 50 miles an hour, now you're going 75 miles an hour.
Oh, those were the numbers. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like at the top, we're a bit away from the transition, but we are also in the middle of a rather close game. 1 Tetris of difference, that can be changed in an instant. And it looks like there will be the means for that change. Sharky will not be able to get a Tetris. Kirby will, provided she can stay Tetris ready in the face of this drought. 19 pieces, gets the bar. Unfortunately, not able to use that second one, and I know from experience that that is an agonizing feeling, because they feel like such a valuable commodity. The bars don't matter if you're high up. Kirby had a tease of a threatening situation. He is going to be able to get out of it. Feels in left, and 1 more burn, 2 more burns. All right. And she'll be fine. Looks like it'll take a bit longer, and during this time, Sharky's taking the lead. 1.75 Tetrises, 2, make that 2. One of the tricky things about gauging how these games go is that you have to also account for the lines. Each player has a very specific amount of lines, and speed does not give you any extra points in this format.
Speed does not give you any extra points in this format?
Yeah, like you finish faster, you push down, like you get like pennies.
Right.
Maybe, but we're dealing in pounds.
Right. Now, of course, the value of line clears does go up for each successive level that you do reach. So, you know, a Tetris on 24 is worth less than one on 25.
But your opponent will still have access to those same levels eventually.
That's right.
Speaking of those levels, we are almost to level 25. Mari has reached it first. This is fantastic survival, but will it end here? He gets the bar. The board is low, but the middle is high. He makes some early shifts.
Yeah, this is going to be really difficult to survive for Mari.
And the really punishing thing about Dash, one misshift can easily cascade into many more. We saw that here. It is a consequence of how the playstyle is.
And Scuti is good, and will take game number 2.
Game number 2. Yeah. We got transitions at the top. Sharky with the lead of basically a Tetris and a half. Kirby keeping up. Both boards are clean. Anything could happen.
I'm hearing a little bit of talk over there.
Oh.
Like, I think there are open mics over by Scuti and Mari.
I don't think.
Yes. Oh, what's up? How's it going, guys?
I don't think Twitch chat can hear them. So that is their conversation will forever remain a secret between the 4 of us and Arbaro, who is of course the wonderful person responsible for making sure these matches go smoothly. Shoutouts to Arbaro. Yeah! And shoutouts to Kirby, who for navigating this dig, and Sharky in the midst of navigating his own too. The score differential has remained mostly consistent. But if this keeps up, that lead is going to actually decrease paradoxically, and that's because Tetrises are more valuable. So Kirby will have the chance to catch all the way back up in fewer lines clear if Sharky is able to, if Sharky makes a mistake. And you'll see Sharky just did not 1, but 2 techniques. 2 instances of a very advanced form of a technique called a quick tap. And he's gonna need it because the board is high. He nails the 3rd one. Will he need another? We watch with bated breath before we actually explain what the dang thing is. I think that was another. I don't know.
Yeah, you'll see when Sharky kind of moves his entire body.
There we go. He's really dialing in. He's really dialing in. That is definitely a quick tap. And he needs all of them. It's a technique to get you just a little bit of extra mobility. And when Dash is as limited as it is, you really want that. Kirby has used this time that Sharky has been digging. She's in the lead, but Sharky does have more lines to work with. So we'll have to see how efficiently he gets out. He's very close. Just 2 more lines. A T-piece will do it nicely. A bar also works. Gets a 2nd bar. And man, this is not free. He's getting so close, and that's just 1 piece. Not fatal, but prolonging the situation a little bit longer. Kirby has another Tetris in hand against Sharky. Takes a bit of an interesting burn with the T. That's a drought.
Yeah, we'll see a little drought here. Okay, that's gonna...
Oh, Sharky with like a great number of quick taps in a row. And he needs them. Kirby has expressed disbelief that Sharky is still alive, but we will see whether it is enough. There is a 1 Tetris difference. Each player has 3 of them left before we reach level 29.
Yeah, Tetris is on level 28 worth 34,800.
And, oh, here's the thing. Sharky might be able to come back. Kirby going for this crazy setup, choosing not to burn to get the right column open. But it's not paying off.
All right, there's a Tetris.
And that's Tetris. She ends with 836. That's a great dash score, and Sharky is barely not going to be able to. Oh,
Sharky, what can he do? No. And Sharky's going to top out at 832.
He almost brought it back. That is incredible. But Kirby also deserves an equal amount of credit for taking the win, for staying cool in the midst of that. She would not have been able to take that win if she did not fight all the way until the very end, if she did not stay clean, if she did not pick her battles, if she did not score her Tetrises. Well, that was game 2. Let's see how game 3 is. And let's also see how the game 3 down below is. We were so caught up in the top. Mari is informing me that nothing... I don't know what Mari is saying, but it's probably his fault somehow. Oh shit! Oh my god! I'm sorry. No! No! I wasn't watching. I didn't know. I'm so sorry, man. Well, Blue Scuti takes the bottom game in a sweep, and we'll be moving on to the round of 16. He is opting to play this out. So we might choose to move to the top scene only, or we might watch this game. He wants the max out, so he's gonna keep going. And I hope production will be so kind as to let us view his attempts as we view the attempts of both players at the top.
Yeah, I think we're running up against a little bit of a time crunch here.
Oh,
we
okay.
have to run people through, so
Yeah.
probably not too many Mullins happen.
Understandable. So, do you remember why we started so late in the first place?
We started so late. Now, I wasn't there in Pasadena this year, but there was kind of an interesting event that happened, which you remember, a fire alarm. And we had another fire alarm today happen. 2 consecutive big CTWC events in a row.
Interesting scene. Yeah.
And that took up about an hour.
Was it an hour? Was it actually that long?
I don't know. I went back to my hotel. I was like, I wasn't waiting around. Okay.
I want to say it was closer to 30 minutes, but it was really frustrating. And the most infuriating part is that it was in the middle of quals. People had games, and
yeah,
some people knew to pause them. Other people just topped out because we didn't know what was going on, and the judges did their best to make the best out of a bad situation.
Right.
What would making the worst out of a bad situation be like?
Yeah, well, that's something that I do all the time.
Ruining Tetris?
Yeah, exactly. So we're pretty close here in this game 3 between Kirby and Sharky. 190 for Kirby, 172 for Sharky.
I think Sharky just a little bit more efficient. Right there. This kind of half Tetris difference is the only, you can really only get it by scoring triples. And triples tend to be kind of a rarer burn. At least from what I've observed. I don't know. I think you've watched a lot more Tetris than I have.
Well, I don't know if that's true, but players tend to avoid triples if they can take it. If they can avoid them.
Why is that?
Well, because if you've got 3 set up, then you're really very close to having 4 set up. And having 4 set up for a Tetris is just so much better in terms of score.
So why do they take them at all? What's the point? In fact, why does anybody not take a Tetris?
You seem to have an answer in mind, so you go ahead and enlighten us.
It's just this game is hard. You can get really high up on the board, and when you're high up and you get an L piece for the triple, and you bring your board much slower, you feel a lot better. And really, the secret to this game is good vibes. Your mind is clear, and your hands are steady. There is nothing that can stand in the way between you and getting a slightly higher number than your opponents if you're playing against somebody. I don't know. Maybe yourself. Sharky with a T-spin. Nice T-spin, Sharky. You're welcome.
Interesting setup here from Kirby. Had an opportunity to sort of take this down and instead decided to go for a 7
Oh, and she looks like she is really enjoying this decision.
Yeah, no, regretting the decision, but getting the Tetris and maintaining the lead by 54,000.
Maintaining the lead. Oh, she got the lead. But I don't think this is a permanent lead.
No, not with this.
Sharky, not Tetris ready, but Tetris ready now. Kirby has a hole at the very bottom, but is otherwise fairly clean. Sharky with that Tetris, almost caught up. One more, and he will take the lead for real. Kirby also clean, where Vandy can see my quotation marks, and nobody else.
Yeah, no, I'm the only one who can see the quotation marks.
Yes.
Oh, we should get like a little thing on the screen where when you want to talk in quotation marks, you just hit a button and quotation marks come up.
CTWC 2028.
Yeah. I'm going to steal that. I'm going to use that beforehand.
Oh, okay. I've helped ruin Tetris.
Well, you've been doing it for years. 374 for Kirby, 356 for Sharky. And
last couple of times I've looked at Sharky's screen, I've seen that his rightmost 2 columns, columns 9 and 10, have been completely empty. I don't know if he's been forced into that or not, but that's a bit frustrating to encounter as a player because it's not dangerous in any sense, but it is almost a guaranteed burn. And you really want to be pushing your efficiency as much as possible. Kirby with that center roll Tetris, emphasizing that. Sharky with that line dependency, emphasizing that in a slightly different way.
Yeah, I think for maybe some of these round 1 matches, though, it is possible some of these top seeds might be taking their foot off the accelerator a little bit just because of the matchup. So they think they can afford to be a little more conservative, take a little more burns. Anyway, that could be what's going through some of these players' minds.
Yeah, exactly. But it looks like I think he's going to want to turn on the gas when it comes to transition. I don't think he knows how not to. He's Sharky.
All right, there's a skim and a Tetris for Sharky, 478. Kirby.
Almost a 500
495.
transition. I believe by the time we reach transition, it will indeed be a true 500. Kirby set up for what's known as an adjustments, where you actually wait to see the next piece before making your final decision. And adjustments are a weird thing because you only get to use them like a small percentage of the time. Or when they work. There's one. There's one. And because of that, she got out of her dig slightly quicker, gets the spar. And what might be a bit of an uncomfortable right side is now filled in nicely. She's looking to get Tetris ready soon. Sharky already Tetris ready in spite of that hole. And he is now forced to reckon with it. He is now forced to clean it up. That is a high left side. There's no quick tap that can save him there. And it is Kirby with a 2-run lead against the #1 seed.
Wow. That's a kind of a shocker here. I mean, obviously Kirby no slouch, but you'd expect the #1
Kirby no
seed.
slouch. She has not been to a live Tetris event in 5 years.
Well, maybe she's been in a secret underground training layer for 5 years.
Oh, that's
preparing
where she went.
as soon as they launch CTWC.
Actually,
Jonas
I think
Cup.
I know what this training layer is. I think it's called Hydra Dudes Any Tourney. Have you? Are you familiar with the tournament?
I'm familiar with it. I'm not sure anybody else here is.
Hydra Dude. Very, very cool guy. He is maybe most popularly known now as being the person who created the sheets, the Google spreadsheets that contains every single probability for every single game crash situation, which I kind of want to brag a little. I can take part of the credit for that existing because I've helped to research the game crash. I don't know where we're talking about game crash in a DAS tournament, but we are. But he's a wonderful man, and I think nothing really emphasizes his mad genius more than the Any Tourney series. Every week, a completely new formats. And for a player like Kirby who lives with the unorthodox formats, that is paradise. Nothing, no other word to describe it. And it is because of this that she is able to exercise her already impressive creative muscles and try out all kinds of stacking. And that's maybe the advantage. That is giving her the advantage over Sharky. Did I just say advantage twice in a row? Wow.
Well, going up 2-1 against the top seed in the tournament, definitely already a huge accomplishment, no matter how this turns out.
It's the kind of volatility I feel that we come to expect from DAS. But on the other hand, when it comes to the Final Four and the Final Two, I think nobody will have a doubt in their minds that these people deserve to be here because you had to play so many games with this harsh, with this unforgiving playstyle.
Yeah, I think it goes underappreciated just how punishing and unforgiving the DAS playstyle is. You know, you play primarily now as a roller, and you do have a lot of opportunities to fix mistakes. And but DAS, you just do not have a chance to fix mistakes.
Right, it's a completely different paradigm of thinking. All right, if you could cover for a little bit, I am going to take a mental break because I don't want to fry my brain before my match later. So
okay, yeah.
I'll be back in a few minutes.
Yeah, you bet. No problem. Yeah, so Fractal's still an active participant in this tournament, doing double duty. Of course, we've had multiple players doing double duty. Blue Scuti, also a judge, a commentator, a player, and you know, just a cool guy walking around. But anyway, Kirby 265, 184 here for Sharky. There's a Tetris for Sharky and one for Kirby as well. And you'll see Kirby up by 3.5 Tetrises. Sharky trying to fix this stack. So this stack very vertical. You'd like a nice, flat, gently sloping left to right board. And Sharky right now with kind of a vertical, spiry board and wants to get out of it as quickly as possible. But unfortunately, that's not always up to you. And so you have to do what you can with the pieces that you are given. And the RNG and the pieces that you're given in this game, very unforgiving. Sharky going to take a triple here, try to keep that well exposed. Gets a long bar down for a Tetris. 242 for Sharky, 334 for Kirby. Oh, nice long bar for Kirby to take that triple and uncover that right side well, and a long bar down for a Tetris. And she's up by 118,000 points. That's about 5 Tetrises through 78 lines.
All right, I've taken a moment to properly reflect on myself, and I would like to publicly once again apologize to Mari. I'm sorry, man. I wasn't looking at your board. Love you too, man. I really hope the mic caught that. That was a wonderful scream. Mario's great. I actually met him at his very first tournaments in Lone Star 2022. I don't think he was involved at all on the scene. He's really made a name for himself here. He's a great guy. He does charity events every quarter. Oh my god, I actually feel so bad.
Oh yeah. And Mario, of course, the winner of the taco bracket at the Lone Star Championship in Austin, Texas this year. Tetris for Sharky, 345. Kirby at 441.
All right, man. Oh, wow, this is a lead.
Yeah, this is a good lead right now for Kirby as we head into transition.
Yeah, but I think the true test of the DAS player and any Tetris player is level 19. And I do think Sharky has the edge in raw skill against Kirby on level 19 from what we've seen, from what we saw in the qualifiers. 6 max outs means at least 600 lines of exemplary level 19 gameplay. The fastest speed that any DAS player is, like any human DAS player, I mean, is expected to play through.
All right, we are approaching the level 19 transition.
Yeah.
Sharky trying to get a good stack going into there. You need to have a good, low, workable board.
For clean boards, plentiful long bars, and I think the unfortunate truth is that you do want your opponent to... I'm not going to say anything.
All right, so Sharky is in at about 446. Kirby still... Okay, now
she's
in
fine,
19 at 514.
Yeah. Oh, that's so tough for Sharky. Gets a bar. Gets a bar. Kirby with some misdrops. That's going to take some time. This is what Sharky needs to cover back up. Oh my gosh, he got out of it? What? Okay.
Yeah, that was very fast. I thought that was going to be an extended
And she gets the Tetris. She extends her lead yet again.
So that's a 3.5 Tetris lead right now for Kirby.
Sharky, a T-spin setup. That's awkward. That's so frustrating. He might build over. I don't know what he's doing. Okay, that was worth it.
Yeah, dirty Tetris for Sharky. Trying to even this up. You know, it's so punishing. The other punishing aspect of this is that there's basically 29 is a kill screen in this game, unless you're Andy, and you've only got 100 lines of that level 19 speed to try to make up any deficit that you bring into that transition.
Ooh, quick tap for Sharky. That was not strictly necessary, but because he needs this aggression, he had to get the left up. That was the only reasonable place, and he did. Bit more burning at the bottom. Misship from Kirby. In this, we'll see if she pulls off another black magic trickery dig. I don't think I should say the word that I want to say. Sharky gets another quick tap.
Sharky gonna uncover that right side. He needs to establish it. Well, he does, and he gets another Tetris here, so he's back now by only 2
He's
Tetris.
getting these quick taps as often as a Shark quick taps.
Nice spin for Sharky. Trying to get set up on that right.
Yeah, still 2 Tetrises behind. But he gets this now. And he's in position. This is where the momentum can swing.
So we've just got 45 lines to go.
45 lines to go. Yeah, that's honestly, that's so much. And with a lead this low, Sharky's cut it all the way down. This is not a guaranteed win for either side. It never has been.
Yes.
And it will continue to not be. This is a drought, though. This is a drought. And it does. It feels like both players have been missing out on these droughts.
Oh, no. So
Missed the bar.
Needs a tap, and he gets it over.
Gets that. That was a 9. He did that with pure DAS. Might have quick tapped for the extra safety. Quick tap that for the aggression, but that forced him to drop the bar. And that is the punishments
just
for using this technique. Extra mobility, 4 seconds, but you're wounded. There is probably some D&D analogy that I could make. Or some RPG analogy that I can make that I don't know.
15 lines to go for Sharky. He's back by less than a Tetris. Both players with clean boards. Kirby gonna get a Tetris here.
We might be seeing an upset, but we might be seeing a great comeback as well. That's another misship. Kirby's not going to be getting Tetrises.
So Sharky in the lead now, and I don't know what Kirby can do.
And
Kirby can't get it over, and Sharky will survive. Sharky
doesn't go for the last Tetris. Doesn't need it. What a performance.
Oh my word.
He fought tooth and nail that entire game.
He was behind that entire game up until the last like 1 second.
Dude, this is a round of 16 match.
Yeah, how is this a round of 16 match? This is amazing. So Sharky wins game number 4 to force a deciding game number 5.
Deciding game number 5. We got one more in this set. I hope everyone here is ready.
Players still, all right.
We got thumbs up. Let's count them down. I hope the crowd will join me on this. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Game 5.
No,
not a situation that Sharky would have wanted to get into. This is not a situation I think that Kirby expected to be in, but we're here now, and we have stacks. That's all I can say. One of them is Tetris ready. The other one looks like we'll need a bird.
Yeah, our number 33 seed, bringing our number 1 seed to a decider.
These are like tough games.
Yeah, the RNG has not been kind. You've seen the pieces peppered with droughts. But that is one of the big skills in Tetris is drought management. I mean, it's really ultimately never an excuse to lose to a drought because as a top player, you should be able to weather a drought.
As a top player, you should be able to. On the other hand, it is a constant gamble of like whether you want to be taking it a bit riskier because you need those extra points. You can't gain on an opponent if there's a drought.
Right.
Not meaningfully, at least. So it's a really hard dynamic, and
that's just gonna
top players have made this decision thousands of times, maybe tens of thousands of times over. And we still really don't know an answer. This is the kind of thing that I think even artificial intelligence, as incredible as it is and as impactful as it has been for our game, it's not as equipped to answer because it's a more human like constrained condition.
Yeah.
In a sense, and that's really difficult to encode even.
I'm gonna go ask ChatGPT right now.
Okay.
No, I'm not gonna ask right now. But no, I mean clearly in a lot of sports there's this balance between aggression and survival, and it's definitely that is the essence of the game. The game in competitive Tetris.
Yeah.
So 146 here for Sharky, 95,000 for Kirby, but Sharky gonna use the bar for the Tetris instead of cleaning up the stack, but gets another bar anyway. So ultimately, it doesn't matter. Players differ on what to do in that kind of situation. Do I use the bar for the Tetris? Do I use the bar to get a good stack? Either can be right. Although some of the AI tools for Tetris might tell you otherwise. But there's a lot to be said for I have a good stack and I've got a clean stack and I know exactly what to do with it.
And yeah, neither of these stacks have been perfect. It kind of seems like 28 piece route. That explains some of it. I think that actually explains all of it.
Yeah, in the modern versions of Tetrises, you won't go past 13 pieces without getting another long bar. In NES Tetris, it is basically unlimited. You could go forever.
Yeah.
And that's why the drought counter starts at around 13.
Right. I think the 13 is a reference to modern Tetris, right?
Yeah, because that's the length of time that in between Tetris pieces, the maximum time. Between line pieces. All right, there's or every piece actually.
Yeah. And if you permit me to be distracted from the game, I saw Noah Dengler say in response to our talks about the AI that there's only one right answer. And I want to challenge him on that because I think Tetris is at the highest level a very complex game of rock, paper, scissors. Mm-hmm. Can you always win at rock, paper, scissors, Vandy?
Can I always? I can't always win, but I can ensure that I won't lose. Right? By being truly random.
Right. But what I mean by this is that by varying your levels of aggression, you can influence your probabilities of winning against an opponent in ways that are complex, in ways that act like rock, paper, scissors. And I believe Adrian Wu, I think the developer of the current strongest artificial intelligence that we have, has run the numbers and found that there is a pretty likely situation where this does happen with bots. And this is something that the players have to be thinking about too. They have to be judging their aggression constantly. They have to be choosing to take these risks, and sometimes they can play in a way that's better, sometimes they can play in a way that's worse.
Well, and they also have to realize, these players, that they know that they are not a perfect AI Tetris bot, that they have strengths and weaknesses, and so they have to create situations that play to their strengths and avoid their weaknesses.
Yeah. And they're changing this every single piece throughout this entire game. Some changes are subtle, some changes are drastic. All right, let's get some score updates. We've been yapping for a while.
So yeah,
Kirby taking the lead once again in the pre-transition.
Yeah, about a 1 Tetris lead.
52 O pieces, 32 line bars, we are being told from production. Did I just say line bars?
Line bars, you did.
Oh my god, okay.
What a noob.
But that's also like horrendous. That is maybe the second worst competitive seed I have ever heard of.
But that will explain, you know, why these low scores as we approach transition. Generally speaking, in a competitive game, you know, a good benchmark is 500, 550 for a transition score at 19. And if one player is significantly below that, then it's probably them. But if both players are, then it's probably the RNG.
It can be lower and they can be higher, but ultimately doesn't matter as much as the one true metric. Is your score higher than your opponent's? Right now, it is Kirby who's winning that, but this is only half the game. We are about to reach the final transition of this match.
Yeah, still about a 1 Tetris lead for Kirby going into 19. So he's going to transition with a single at about 445 or so. Sharky transitions in at about 426.
Yeah, wait, this is close.
Yeah, and this is
one Tetris difference.
This is essentially a best of one. The winner continues in the tournament. The loser is out of the tournament based on this one game.
Yeah. Oh, this is a high board for Kirby. Oh, that's so hard.
Oh, this is not survivable by Kirby, and Sharky's already ahead, and Sharky will continue, but what a match, Fractal.
What a match. That was crazy. I really do feel so blessed to be talking about this with you.
You feel all kinds of ways.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Look at those two. What a match between these two great competitors.
Hello everyone, I'm your underwater host Sharky. I want to say thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the matches, then be sure to leave a like. Comment down what your favorite moment was. I'm not going to tell you mine because I'm biased, but I'd love to hear yours. And of course, make sure you subscribe so then you can stay up to date on all things Tetris. Now, real quick, before we move on, I did want to give a shout out to Tetris Forever. It has released, I'm not going to show you guys the trailer, but it has released, so you can find it on consoles, you can find it on Steam. Once again, shout out to them for sponsoring the Jonas Cup, and give it a play if you enjoy Classic Tetris. But Jonas Cup Round 1 has officially started. Round 1, Match 1 had a banger, obviously biased, but there's still plenty more matches to come, and you're going to see a lot of unique matchups that you probably wouldn't see unless it was an event like Jonas Cup. So make sure to stay tuned. Not too much that I have to talk about today, but yeah, anyways, I'm your underwater host Sharky, and I'll see you all in the next match of Jonas Cup here in 2021.